Are you guys ready? Ready as in for the upcoming beta of Overwatch 2 being right around the corner. I believe it is coming out April 6th. And we know this game has been talked about the sequel's been talked about for years now. People have been waiting for it. And the more we anticipate it, and the less we anticipate it, and the less we care about it, and the less we like Overwatch, at least, the general population from my observations and assumptions. But it looks like the game's finally here. After all the talk and after all the delay, we're finally getting the beta coming out, and there's going to be some, drastic changes. You still have to have love for the game, because when it first came out, it was like one of the most played games around everyone, and every streamer, every person, every child, every adult was playing the game. It was so addicting for one time period. You come home, get out of school, and just hop on, or get out of work and just hop on with your squad and just, grind Overwatch for hours. And over time, all the patchworks and all the adjustments, all the nerfs and all the buffs made the game not as enjoyable. People started to hate it. People still love it. And now we're finally getting that sequel that we've been talking about and waiting for years. Now, as we know, like repeated a bazillion times, it is a sequel to Overwatch, but it looks like it's not gonna be the traditional sequel. It looks like it's like, for example, it's not gonna be like, Team Fortress 1 and Team Fortress 2. The gameplay is fairly parallel. It's really similar. There's slight differences when it comes to characters and other aspects. It looks like, by what we've seen from all the clips and information given in the forums, that Overwatch 2 is going to be expansion that focuses mostly on PvE missions, which is really interesting because it seems like that's what a lot of people wanted for the first game. But we only got that for like the archive events, or just the different monthly events we'd get, like the summer games, the Halloween event, where you and your group, it'd be like missions of groups of 4 would fight and have an objective, fight the the NPCs and have the objective and the goal, either you're escorting payload or shooting down Dr. Junkenstein. But now it looks like the game is going to be heavily based on that. I believe it's going to be a majority. And there's been some other adjustments as well, not just the gameplay itself being mostly the PvE. It looks like PvP has been adjusted quite a bit too. And the main thing that people were kind of looking at and having either excitement or concern about is that PvP will only be 5v5 teams now, and it's going to consist of one tank. And that's going to be super interesting, because now it's like, do the tanks have more health? Are the healers and the DPS going to have less health? They do more damage? I'm just curious how that's going to balance out, since we're so used to that dual tank gameplay for PvP. So that is going to be super interesting. What else are they doing? They've said the reason they're doing this is because it was in the article, it states that the creators for Overwatch believe that anything over 11 players in PvP was too much to kind of manage and pay attention to. It's not just hard for the servers, but apparently it's hard for the players, making the game more challenging. So now getting rid of 2, cutting down to 10, it's going to make the game easier to play. Apparently for PvP, people are going to be able to make better decisions and have more fun with the game. So we'll see what that's about. I guess enough people cried enough, or it just didn't work out. We'll see if it works for the better or worse. Another significant thing is a lot of characters are getting different patchworks and reworks. The 2 at the moment that have been talked about for the upcoming beta is going to be for Orisa and Doomfist. First, going for the Orisa rework, it looks like that she's gonna have several abilities removed. It looks like her protective barrier, her halt, and her supercharge have been removed. And so that's gonna be really interesting, because I feel like that was, especially like her barrier, I felt like that was super significant. But now it looks like she's gonna have a Javelin Spin, which spins your javelin to destroy projectiles. It pushes enemies and increases forward speed. So it looks like it's gonna give you a speed boost while throwing. I'm not sure it's gonna be like a traditional javelin or spear. It looks like any projectiles coming toward you, it's gonna get rid of. So that'd be interesting, kind of like the trophy system in Call of Duty, or I'm assuming it might be like that. It looks like Orisa's new ultimate is going to be the Terror Surge. It says sweeps in enemies and anchor down, gaining the effect of fortify and charging up a surge of damage. Use primary fire to unleash the surge early. And there's also like the energy javelin. Launch your javelin at the enemy to stun and knock them back. More effective if the enemy hits a wall. Okay, so kind of like Doomfist is like forward punch, I guess. So it'd be interesting. And speaking of Doomfist, Doomfist is now going to be a tank, so that's going to be really interesting for his rework. It looks like his health has increased to 450, and I believe he's lost his uppercut, so that's gonna be interesting. But he has a power block now, protects yourself from frontal attacks, blocking heavy damage, enemy power. So that's cool. He's gonna kind of have like a barrier, which would be really cool. So that's his rocket punch, and then he has a seismic slam. Now launches you just like Winston's leap. Okay, so that's really cool. On landing, it deals damage. So it's basically kind of like Winston's move, and then it looks like his meteor strike is still the same, so that's gonna be really interesting. And I know there's also gonna be some Bastion reworks. I've heard rumors that Bastion will I've heard rumors that Bastion will no longer be able to go into tank mode, but I believe the turret is going to be able to be mobile when in that form now, so that's gonna be interesting. Like the minigun, the really annoying character Bastion the robot. And I'm not sure if they can heal or not, but I think it's gonna be interesting. And that comes to the question now: is Overwatch 2 going to be, the next big game, or is everyone to get it? Is everyone over the game? Has the wait this long killed the anticipation for getting the game? And I think we're gonna figure it out with the beta coming up the 26th. I probably will end up purchasing the game just to see the gameplay's play and to give footage to you guys and anyone else that wants to see footage of what the games would be like for future purchases, and see if you want to invest in it. But for now, the wait's finally over and we're here, guys. Let's see how it goes.